Here we go again, next to no inventory. So the key right now is you need to figure out why pay more. I don't care if it's a multiple offer and you're against 15 other competing offers, you need to know why you want to pay more. And it doesn't matter if there's no multiple offers. If you're the one offering on the property, then technically you're deciding to pay more for that property than anybody else. So the key to dialing into that is figuring out what your inherent value is on that home. And there's a few ways to do that. Now I know us realtors are taught in Orea College, and don't get me started on that, that's a whole nother video session, but we're taught that there's principles of values and use, and these values and use have nothing to do with market value and price point. I say they're completely wrong, so forget it, but you can't kick me out from being a realtor because I already passed the tests. The key is figuring out which values and use are the ones that you and your families will use, okay? Now, further to that, I will also say that the National Association of Realtors did a study about 4 years ago, and they asked all buyers, they said, what do you expect out of your realtor? Now, you might think that was the lowest price, fair, or the best value, or to look after my needs and wants. But what people said is they wanted that realtor to help them find the home. And guys, this is how we do it. So there's 6 major criteria points to help you in determining your own inherent value. So the first thing is location. You've heard of it before, location, location, location. But what I want to tell you is your ideal location is different than your friends from high school. So the first thing that we like to consider is what are your centers of the universe? And what I mean by that are what are the places that you're visiting on a regular basis, and in fact the most regular. So for some people, you would naturally think that would be your job or where you work, because every time you drive to work and drive back, you have to spend money on fuel. For some people, it might be their parents' house, because that's where they go and pick up the kids and drop off the kids after school. For other people, it might be the gym. There's some folks out there that hit the gym every single day. So that would be what I would call their center of the universe, because you're going there even on Saturdays and Sundays. Where I'm getting with this, guys, is for every $5 per month that you're spending recurring each and every month, over and over again, normally on fuel, okay, this is $1,000 worth of mortgage you could be paying off. And I tell you, you don't make money on fuel, let alone the time that you're taking to drive back and forth. Guys, that's why homes in Listowel are not a good deal if you work in town. Trust me, it does not make sense. Do the math, figure out what your gas consumption is. It is flat out silly. So now the other part of location that I think is very important is figuring out which locations and areas have the best chance for future value. We like to hedge the LRT, we think about schools, we think about all these things. And in fact, here at the Watty Way, we have our own little heat map that we'll show you that shows which areas are set to explode, which areas you might be happy in but don't expect a huge resale amount, and which areas are just solid, solid, solid real estate. We'd love to show you that. So part 2 of this is figuring out what is your style. What makes you tick? What makes you love your home? It's important that you dial in on this, otherwise you're going to be swayed by Tina's opinions at the office. And you're going to end up buying her dream home, then you're going to move into it and say, I don't like red countertops. The key to this is figuring out what makes the most sense for you. So rather than driving yourself nuts, pressing refresh, refresh, refresh on the MLS looking for your own unique style, I suggest you spend more time on house.com or Pinterest and zone in on the type of style that you like. So when we walk through that one home, hey, maybe it only takes a $40,000 renovation, which can be financed, to get you that style and type of home that you really want. So zone in and figure out what style you want, and we can figure out how to get it for you. And then that way, you're not moving into a house that might look nice and then end up renovating something that you've already paid top dollar for because they thought it was nice when they first made it. Get the style that you want, but to first understand how that works, you need to identify the style that works for you. Number 3, not necessarily the most important, but this is when the rubber hits the road. This is lifestyle, figuring out what lifestyle you want. The critical sort of, answer that I'm looking for is what's your ideal Saturday morning? Meaning, you could do anything you want. Ideal Saturday morning, also ideal Saturday night, works the same sort of way. Would you rather go out for dinner or would you rather cook at home? Would you prefer to go and have coffees at a cafe, or would you prefer to just hang out in the backyard? Do you want to walk your dogs? You can't have everything, but when you zone into that unique lifestyle that you want, trust me, you're going to be a lot happier in your home, and it'll also define the type of neighborhoods we should be looking at, so you can actually sort of have a relevant comparison between that neighborhood and this neighborhood and the next one. Let's dial in on that lifestyle you're looking for. Trust me, you're going to be happier in the long run. Now, number 4 is critical, and that's layout. You can give me a house that's 3,200 square feet, but if it isn't laid out the way me and my family want it, it's a waste of space. I gotta clean it and pay taxes on it. I'm not interested. You give me 1,900 square feet that's laid out properly, hey, that's all my family needs. Now, 2 ways you can do this. You can buy it as is, which always works well, but you can also do a renovation that'll make the layout work best for you. Normally you pay per square foot, but you're going to be happy not based upon the square footage number, you're going to be happy based upon the use. Also, it all depends on what your expectations are of this layout. If you grew up in a ranch-style farmhouse or a ranch-style bungalow, you're going to have different uses and thoughts of really how family life should operate. If you grew up in a classic 2800 central hall plan with a formal living room and dining room that nobody ever sits in. There's no right or wrong answer, but let's dial in to what your expectations are so we can find you that right layout for yourself. Number 5 is features. Some features can be added, some features can't. If you want a pool or a really nice deck or a fireplace, it's always best to buy those features in off-season. As for the most part, people won't really see or resonate with those features. In the wintertime, let's say, a pool is going to be less appealing than the summertime when they can see it crystal clear and imagine cooling off on a hot summer's day. So if you can, buy that pool in the winter, you're going to get a little bit of a better deal. Now, if you're looking at a home and it's laden with features, okay, so pools, hot tubs, whatever, and you're in a multiple offer situation, but you don't want a pool or you don't want a hot tub, I suggest just walk away. Because all you're going to do is bid against somebody that wants those things, and then the next house in the street is going to go up for sale for more because it got bid up. So step away from features you don't want in a multiple offer situation. Now, if you're in a multiple offer situation and it does have all these features that you're really looking for and you absolutely adore it and you'd have to pay for it to replace it yourself, man, go high, buy that house, and leave nothing up to question. Now, number 6, and the final point, you might say, Watty, are you real? Yes, I am, and I believe in this. The 6th point is feel. The feel of the neighborhood. The type of neighbors you have. Do they leave the garage doors open? Are they talking about the hockey game? Would you like that feeling of the trees kissing over the top of the street as you drive to your home? How does the neighborhood feel? How do you interact with your neighbors? How does the sun set in your backyard, or are you more of a barbecue and lemonade in the shade sort of person? Figure that out, because if you want a sunset in your backyard, max 2/3 of the homes you're looking at are going to work. So don't bother bidding up that house across the street if you want a sunset in your backyard. We can't move the sun, folks. I'm not kidding. This stuff is real to me. So the feel is very important. If you can dial in on the feel of the home you're looking for and communicate that with myself or even your realtor, oh boy, you're close to getting that right home for you. So this is why you pay more. This is why you buy that lifestyle. This is lifestyle sales. I'm proud of this process. I believe in it wholeheartedly. Otherwise, if I just go around and show you houses, then for the most part, yeah, I might sell houses, but I just consider myself to be a taxi driver with keys. To be frank with you, I'd rather be a dream merchant. Darryl Watty, Chestnut Park.